row of double bead tape sealant across the valley flashing about 5 inches from the center of the valley. To accommodate the panel, align and install the offset cleat, fastening it to the substrate with truss head wood screws 12 inches on center. In order to properly install your Image 2 roof panels, you'll have to field notch and hem them. Here's how to do it. First, notch both the male and female legs of the panel up to 1.5 inches. Next, bend the flat part of the panel so that it will accept the offset cleat. Now apply the sealant in the bend that you just made. It's very important that you install this first panel to make sure that everything is square and aligned properly. The first panel will determine how every other panel lays on the roof, and if it isn't aligned, none of the others will be. Slide the hemmed panel onto the offset cleat, snap the panel, and fasten it to the substrate. Fasten the panel to the substrate in the center of the fastening groove on the male leg of the panel using a truss head wood screw. The fastener must be in the center of the fastening groove, and you'll want to make sure you don't tighten the screw down too much. Also, make sure to check local building codes because fastener spacing must meet them. Now, congratulate yourself. You've just installed the first Image 2 panel. After you've notched and hemmed the second panel, apply a single bead of tube sealant inside the open hem. Place the second panel on top of the first panel so the second hemmed panel can be engaged with the offset cleat. Slide the panel toward the peak of the roof, fully engaging the offset cleat. Next, you'll want to snap the panels together, working from eave to peak. It's important that you snap the panels together in one direction. Continue on with the remaining panels, setting the hemmed panel atop the previous panel and engaging each with the offset cleat. Snap the panels together, again working from eave to peak, snapping in one direction. Once you have all the panels in place, fill each panel's lower end rib with tube sealant. If the last panel you install extends past the edge of the building, you'll have to adjust it before installing the rake detail. You'll need to cut the panel accordingly and then bend the flat part of the panel up at least 1 inch. Once you've bent the panel, or if the panel ends flush with the edge of the building, apply a row of double bead tape sealant to the flat part of the panel, either next to the panel rib or vertical field bent leg. Then position the rake against the wall onto the tape sealant. Attach the rake flashing to the substrate with wood screws all the way through the rake flashing, tape sealant, panel, and into the substrate at 12 inches on center. Attach the rake flashing to the wall panel with the appropriate fastener at 12 inches on center. After you've installed all the panels, you'll need to field cut the architectural Z closure so it fits between panel ribs. Be sure to allow an extra inch per side for the tab. Then apply a row of double bead tape sealant across each panel and the panel ribs, about 2 inches from the end. Next, install the Z closure, fastening it to the panel using 4 truss head wood screws. Now, apply a row of double bead tape sealant across the top leg of the Z closure. Make sure that you fill in any gaps or openings around the panel ribs with tube sealant. Position the pitch brake flashing onto the Z closure. Then attach it using pop rivets. Next, we'll install the Rakewall. First, apply a row of double bead tape sealant to the flat part of the panel, either next to the panel rib or the vertical field bent leg, and across the top part of the Endwall flashing, where the 2 flashings will lap. Now, install the Rakewall and secure it to the flat pan of the Image 2 panel, using a wood screw at 12 inches on center. Apply a row of double bead tape sealant across each panel and each panel rib, about 2 inches from the end. Next, install the Z closure by fastening it to the panel using 4 truss head wood screws. You can also use foam closures as we've done here. Now apply a row of double bead tape sealant across the top leg of the Z closure. Make sure to fill all gaps and openings around the panel ribs with tube sealant. Then position the peak flashing against the wall and onto the tape sealant. Attach the peak flashing to the roof panels using pop rivets into the top of the panel rib. Attach the peak flashing to the wall panel with the appropriate fastener at 12 inches on center. To flash the vent pipe, use a rubber roof jack or similar pipe flashing. Apply double bead tape sealant between the panel and the base of the rubber roof jack. Attach the base of the rubber roof jack to the panel using wood screws. Along the top where the boot meets the pipe, apply a continuous bead of tube sealant. If the through pipe interferes with a panel rib, you may need to relocate the through pipe. Installing a metal sales roof system is a fairly clean process, so after the work is done, there's not much left to do. Check the panel surfaces and flashings for any loose debris and metal shavings. Any dirt may be washed off with a mild detergent and water using a